Hey guys, welcome back. NFL Week 7 is in, and I am here answering your questions. It went so well last week that, well, last Sunday, I it was about 8 a.m. Central Time, and I posted on Reddit for questions, last minute fantasy questions, help, advice, and I was not expecting what I got, but what I did end up getting was, let's see. I just simply said, get your last minute questions in. I'll try to answer as many as possible before it was go time. And it went pretty big. So let's see, kind of tell you guys what I got. So I got 1,101 comments, and I was able to answer 525 of them. I was not expecting it to go that big. So I do apologize for anyone who did ask questions that I wasn't able to get to. I was not expecting 1,000 questions to answer. So what I want to do is kind of I got a ton of questions to answer NFL Week 7. If you're not aware of what I do, I answer your questions here. I can send you over to my blog over at fantasysportsadvice.sportsblog.com. The free articles are over there. If you want to do the subscription service, which is a great service to do, it's the cheapest around. Head over to thefantasysportsguru.com, and on the right side under the ads, is the subscribe button. You can subscribe for the 1 week, the month, or the entire season. And what I do is that once I received that you're a subscriber, you are emailed the article for the week. And this week for FanDuel, we actually have 5 separate lineups that we're using. And I will start doing Victiv.com. I have posted the Victiv affiliate at the bottom, the affiliate program. Click that link, sign up, and I will try to get you guys a Victiv.com lineup. Victiv actually, FanDuel, DraftKings, you cannot do, certain states are restricted on those sites. And it's kind of a shame because it's not poker. It is skill. It's a little luck, but it's also skill. But Victiv does not do that. So their legality is better in that sense. And over at Victiv, there is no kicker position. So you replace the kicker with 2 flex, 2 wide receivers. You do QB, 2 RBs, 2 wide receivers, 2 flex, a tight end, and a defense, which is awesome. And the prices are pretty standard. You'll see. But so I'm here to answer your questions that I can, the questions that I've gotten on Twitter. I have opened this up to a bunch of people, and hopefully you guys are hopefully you've had some luck. We have had luck over on our subscription service. We have catch since the beginning of the NFL weekend, week 1, about 2 months ago, we have gotten, let's see, what have I written down? I wrote down that I myself have done $6,000 in winnings, and combined with all of the subscription services and subscribers that we have, a total of about 18,000. Some of that does include baseball, but most of that is from football, and NBA will be in 2 weeks, so definitely check that out. Those daily, those are exciting, and NBA is really exciting. It's a little bit more predictable than football and baseball, so that's definitely a plus. So I guess if I'll look around and let me find some of these questions I can answer for you guys. At Osekusi18, sorry if I messed that up. Thursday, he asked if he should start Vereen, Chris Ivory, or Vernon Davis. I said I didn't know about Vereen just because of the whole running back by committee situation, the weather, and Brandon Bolden jumping on. I told him I wasn't sure about the running back there, but if he's not comfortable with Vereen, I would go Ivory. Vernon Davis kind of scares me because he's still dependent on the TD. But Vereen went off, and Bolden got like one catch. Thanks, Brandon Bolden. I put you in for Stacy on my year-long league. But I wanted him to go with Chris Ivy because the weather was supposed to be bad in the run game, but then the weather kind of stopped. And the run game was pretty good. Chris Ivory, I think he had 22 fantasy points. So hopefully I helped him out. I know might not have possibly, but that's kind of what we expected from New England Jets game. It was a pretty amazing game that they blocked a field goal to end the game. But yeah. So let's see. So I kind of want to talk about, if you have not checked out, I do have a referral program. So for every 5 friends that subscribe for just the 1 day, the 1 week, the month, or the year, the person who referred them will get the NFL package for free. And we'll do the same thing with the NBA. NBA will be, it's obviously long, there's more games. But same thing goes. The referral program, we've got that up and running. And it's been pretty much a big hit since I brought. But so then I got a question. Would you trade Emmanuel Sanders for Macklin and San Diego D in a standard league? No, because we saw what the San Diego defense did against Oakland. They didn't stop Oakland very well, and Oakland almost beat them. So, yeah. Would you start Dez Bryant or Jeremy Macklin this week? Dez Bryant. I would definitely go Dez Bryant. Bryant's going up against the Giants, and the Giants can't stop anyone if you did see the Eagles game. So, Rivers or Eli? Phillip Rivers. He's had, 5 or 6 games now. He had 5 games straight at least with 120 plus QB rating, which is just ridiculous. But no one's paying attention to that because Peyton Manning's on his way to breaking the record. So, Shactus says 10-team standard. I already made a lot of mistakes this week. Don't want to make another. Do I play Alfred Morris or Keenan Allen at flex? Alfred Morris. I think Alfred Morris is going to have a huge game this week against the Tennessee Titans. I think the Redskins are the favorites at home. I think Kirk Cousins is going to go under the radar for daily fantasy, and they're going to get up pretty big, and then it's going to be Morris's game to run, and I think he's going to have a pretty big game. LaShawn McCoy. That's for last week. Alshon Jeffrey or Andre Williams at flex. Andre Williams kind of upset a bunch of people last week. He didn't do really much of anything. I would go Alshon Jeffrey this week. Him and Brandon Marshall, it's a toss up there. So I would go Alshon Jeffrey. Steven Jackson or Bishop Sankey. I think they're going to realize that if they don't play Sankey, they're not going to win. Not that they're going to win much, but Sankey's going to be the go-to. I've been saying it since preseason, since training camp, that you should stash away Sankey because his time will come. And I believe after last week, it's going to be his time. And yeah, I think Sankey's the way to go there. Keenan Allen, Michael Floyd, or Roddy White? I'm going to go Roddy White. I think Julio is going to be double covered. Michael Floyd, it just depends. Keenan Allen is a tricky one. You don't know with Keenan Allen. Like, he is not who he was last year, and that's kind of upsetting. But yeah, I would like to be able to tell you Keenan Allen for sure, but you just don't know. And yeah, so that's what I would definitely do. So, sorry, I'm trying to get people. So let's see some more questions. Okay. Kelvin Benjamin or Joique Bell? Bush, I think, is going to be back. Bell is going to lose his touches. Kelvin Benjamin. Kelvin's going up against the Packers, and last time the Packers and the Panthers met last season, I think it was a shootout, and they were tossing the ball a ton. I think the Panthers are going to be down early, so I have to toss it. And as we've seen, Kelvin Benjamin is Cam Newton's go-to receiver. Last time they played, Cam Newton, I think, went for over 400 yards. Had a huge game last week running it, and I think he's going to have another big game this week. So, Matt Ryan or Eli Manning? After last week's performance by Eli Manning, I know he lost Victor Cruz, and I know Odell Beckham Jr. is going to just kind of fly over into that role. I'd go Matt Ryan still. I have to. Storm Johnson, Ronnie Hillman. The report was yesterday that Storm Johnson's going to be sharing touches with two others, and we saw that he only had one touch in the second half. He did have that touchdown to save his value, but I would not go with him. So, pick 2: DeMarco Murray, Andre Williams, Brandon Oliver. Murray and Oliver. Murray every week. He will probably get hurt, but Murray every single week. It's not even a question. Odell Beckham, Watkins, or Terrence Williams? 2 points for 40-yard reception touchdown, 1.5 points for 100-yard reception. I think Watkins is going to be under the radar type player this week. I think he's gonna have a bounce back game. Odell Beckham, I want to say Odell Beckham because I know he's gonna kind of move into the role. But if we're gonna go just one of those three, I would go Watkins this week. Flacco or Kaepernick? Flacco had a huge game last week, obviously. I wish the NFL wasn't such a soft league so that if they're actually up that high, they actually still play. They throw the ball, they don't run it. Because they are grown men who are getting paid to do their job. If they can't take someone, rub it in their face, then quit because you're obviously not good at your job. So, Sanu or Jeremy Hill? Sanu, he's unbelievable. And AJ Green's probably out another week. Keenan Allen or Mike Wallace? I still have faith in Keenan Allen. And I have faith in Keenan Allen not only because I know how good he is, but I drafted him pretty high in my one of my year-long leagues. So I have to keep up and try to make it feel better when I talk. Yeah. So I still want to say Keenan Allen. Let's see some more questions. Scroll through this. Answered that one already. Not that one. Okay. So Jordan Reed, Ebron, or Ebron. Jordan Reed. I said last week that his pricing on daily fantasy was a little soft, and it turns out it was. He had a pretty good game, solid game, and his price went up again. But he is still the favorite at home against Tennessee. I think the Washington Redskins are going to score a ton of points. So, yeah. So, keep your questions coming. I have posted this on Twitter and I posted it on Reddit, and I'm waiting for a little bit more. So we'll just keep going. I guess I forgot to the whole blowback from the Percy Harvin trade. Now the reports are he's a cancer on the team. He's going to the Jets. That was out of nowhere to the general public, but obviously he's not a very good teammate, I should say. Let's see what else you guys got. Back to the questions. Benjamin, Spiller, or Quick in the flex? Spiller. He's losing his touches to Fred Jackson, and Brian Quick kind of gone down a little bit. I'm really high on Kelvin Benjamin this week. Anywhere from like 7 catches, 100+ yards, 2 TDs is what I'm looking for. Sanu or Kelvin Benjamin. Now that one is tough. I would have to go to Sanu because who else does Andy Dalton have to throw to? And he doesn't really have anyone to throw to. So that one was actually really tough. Running back 2. This one was from Thursday, so it's too bad. But Vereen or Storm Johnson. Storm Johnson's too big of a risk regardless. I know it's too late to answer the question and help you, but Storm Johnson's not someone he's not someone I would put on my bench because we don't know in there, and I don't think he's going to do anything the rest of the year unless there's injuries. Sankey or Torrey Smith? Torrey Smith definitely had a huge game last week. He's going to have a huge game this week. Kind of want to go over, I'm going to jump in to my free plays of the week, which you can find at fantasysportsadvice.sportsblog.com. They are the suggested plays for NFL Week 7 for FanDuel because the prices and my the lineups that I've done are priced for that. So I don't play at DraftKings. FanDuel Victive is a new one, and I've talked about that. So hopefully you guys will check that out. So suggested QB plays that I have picked for this week that I'm focusing all on building lineups with. Tony Romo, he started out the season with like 4 or 5 interceptions, and I thought this was going to be Tony Romo. That was his first game, 4 interceptions. And then he's really turned it around. He is 5-1, which is unreal. They just beat Seattle. So Tony Romo, Aaron Rodgers, if you watched the trickery game that he had last week where he appeared he was going to spike it and then he didn't, and he drove them down the field to win the game with like 6 seconds left. That was awesome. He's always in play, and going up against the Panthers, I think it's going to be a shootout. And Joe Flacco, he was on pace to break the record. And like I said, the NFL is just too soft. I don't like how soft they are, where he had to kind of stop throwing. I mean, he was in until the mid fourth quarter, I believe. So it is kind of a shame, but whatever. Okay, got some more questions. They're coming in live right now. Standard, please pick 2. DeAndre Hopkins at Pittsburgh, Holmes versus Arizona, Michael Floyd at Oakland. I have to pick 2. I'm definitely going to have to say Hopkins and Floyd. Just the 2 that I would go. Standard scoring. Okay, that's old. I don't know why that popped up. Some of these are old questions popping up from last week's article on Reddit. So sorry about that. We'll jump back into my daily, my week 7. So 1 second. Okay. So, like I was saying, Joe Flacco, he could have beat. He had such a great opportunity, and they shut him down, which is unfortunate, but it happens. Other QBs I like. Obviously, I'm going to go with Peyton Manning. He's going to be the most expensive, and he's going to be in prime time to break the record. Now, I think he's going to break the record, especially being at home. He's going to cost you, but I think we can find some value in the running backs, the rest of the team, to build our team around on FanDuel. That Peyton Manning, who's he going to throw to? I would definitely probably have to go with another Broncos stack like I did last week. Last week I stacked Peyton Manning, Demaryius Thomas, Julius Thomas, and the defense, the Broncos defense. And with that right there, I think Peyton Manning went 26 fantasy points. Demaryius and Julius went 19.1. And their defense went 15. And I also had Torrey Smith in there, who happened to have a big game. He went 19.1. We cashed pretty huge on that lineup. I think that lineup got us like 150. And I usually throw those into a $2 GPP, and that did end up bringing us a ton of money last week. And that was just one lineup. We did have 3 other lineups that cashed as well. So I think Peyton Manning's going to have another big game. David Carr, I think he might be under-owned just because of the matchup, but I do believe he could have another decent game. Kirk Cousins, like I've said, I think he's going to go under-owned, and I think it's going to be it's going to be nice. They're favored at home. I think they're going to get up big early, and I think people are going to be off of Kirk Cousins this week, honestly. So I think I would go with him. Brian Hoyer, he has a prime matchup with the winless Jacksonville Jaguars. I do have, actually, if you do subscribe, I do have a lineup built with Hoyer. It's a Brown stack, and I know that sounds disgusting, but who would have thought at the beginning of the year that I would ever be able to say I'm going to stack a bunch of Cleveland Browns to play in a game? Not named Johnny Manziel. But I do have Hoyer, Jordan Cameron, and Ben Tate. And, actually, I have the Browns defense is pretty much my lock of the week for defense, just because they are going against Jacksonville. So definitely do check out this article over at fantasysportsadvice.sportsblog.com. If you want to do a subscription, over at thefantasysportsguru.com, on the right side under the ads, there's a drop-down menu. You can do a week, you can do a month, and you can do the year subscription. It is the cheapest subscription around. You can turn $5, $20, or $50 into thousands each week on FanDuel. So check that out if you want to. The referral program is still up and running in motion, and it's awesome. So what I'm looking for right now is for you guys to answer any questions, help you guys out. So I am still taking questions, and I'm definitely waiting. So we've got some people that are we're throwing in a bunch of questions. We've got a ton on the way. So what I want to do is keep going with these questions, keep going with this content while I'm waiting. The running backs that I am interested in are Lamar Miller and DeMarco Murray, Le'Veon Bell, Forsett, Justin Forsett. I think he's going to be over-owned this week, though. So he's a good play for cash games, but if you're going for the tournament play, you might want to fade Forsett with his ownership, and it might just be a trap. It might be the Brandon or the Andre Williams play from last week where it just didn't work out because they had to abandon the run game because Eli and company were so far behind so quick. Matt Forte is always in play. He's just amazing. Wide receivers, Jordy Nelson, he's the go-to target for Aaron Rodgers. I think an under-the-radar play for Green Bay will be Devontae Adams. His targets keep going up, and if people keep just focusing on Nelson and Cobb, someone's got to catch them when they're down, and it might be Devontae Adams this week. T.Y. Hilton, obviously. I did throw in Wes Welker as just like a Hail Mary type play because last week he was in one of my lineups, and he had one catch. And there was like 3 minutes left in the entire game, and he had one freaking catch. So I don't know. He just doesn't look that's just a punt play in GPP because I think he'll be under-owned. He could have a big game. It is Wes Welker. Odell Beckham Jr., Dez Bryant, Emmanuel Sanders, Kelvin Benjamin, like I've talked about. Tight ends, I'm looking at Jordan Cameron. Again, I think he's going to have a big game. Last week he only had 3 catches, but he went for 102 yards and a touchdown. So I will be right back. Sorry about that. So let's try to finish this article up real quick. Kickers, other tight ends, I guess, Jason Witten. I think I'm looking anywhere from 5 catches to 60 yards, 1 touchdown this week. His price is so suppressed that I think he's able to get that. Other tight ends I like: Greg Olson, Julius Thomas, Martellus Bennett, and Travis Kelce. Baby Gronk. I think he's going to have a good one. He's got a pretty tough matchup, but I think he'll be under owned, which is going to be good. Kickers, like to look for ones in the dome or kind of look at the weather. It seems like I've gone with a lot of Cairo Santos. So I do have, let's see, there's one lineup right there. Details, there's a second lineup. I'll kind of tell you, I'm pretty high on Cam Newton this week. Russell Wilson, Matt Ryan, Tom Brady on Thursday. So I do have a lineup that is a Thursday night lineup, but it is sent out to the subscribers Thursday afternoon. So that's why that's in there. And like I said, I do have the Browns stack. So Brian Hoyer, I think he's going to have a good game. He did let a lot of people down last week, unfortunately. But so if you guys do have any questions, keep them coming in over on, I guess I haven't said my Twitter. It is at FantasyAdvice22, Facebook.com/FantasySportsGuru22. You can email me at FantasySportsGuru22@gmail.com. Like me on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter. Check out the blog over at fantasysportsadvice.sportsblog.com, and check out the website to subscribe, thefantasysportsguru.com. Big things are happening this week. We have huge lineups that I'd like to send out to you guys. Just subscribe, the referral program, everything's going on this week. So keep bringing them over in on Twitter. I'd love to answer that for you guys. And good luck this week. Bring home the bacon. And if you do have more questions, feel free to contact me any way that I just said. So good luck.